Alright, then this is going to be the same format as before. We're going to take these cars out now around Red Bull Ring, track that I'm very familiar with. So yeah, basically I'm giving myself 1 hour, as you can see there, normal settings all over the place, whatever, so, to basically just put down the quickest lap time that I can do with each car and see where they stand basically in terms of like all together and that. But yeah, and let me show you the difficulty now as well. Yep, so everything's off except for anti-lock brakes. So yeah, I'll also be showing the video, the times from slowest to fastest. So the first video will be the slowest time, fastest will be at the end. Let's see if you guys can guess which car that would be. It's probably obvious, but then probably not. So see you in a bit.
That's 5 minutes of fuel left. Watch those track limits. Sector 1 time's okay. You've gone outside of track limits there. Left side tyres are cold.
So yeah, that was the lap with the Bentley 27.4, which is a pretty good lap, especially considering with the AI on 120%. I think the best time it got was a 27.6, I think, so 6 or 7, something like that. So definitely not too shabby, but at the same time, I was quite surprised that it wasn't my best out of the bunch, especially being quite familiar with the Bentley than the other cars in other sims. But yeah, like the biggest obstacle I found with this car, especially on this track, is its response time. Because obviously maybe because of the weight or whatever, but I feel like I've got to turn in just a smidgen earlier than what I'm used to turning, or what I'd think I should be turning with the car. So like coming up here, you're gonna see that that I missed the apex, mainly because I didn't time the turn in properly. And I think I did it on turn 7 as well, coming up like the second to last turn, which definitely cost me, I'll probably say, at least 2 attempts. So there's definitely another 2 attempts in this time. I just couldn't get it out of me with another 15 minutes left in the hour to do it. So, but again, like I said, like really happy with the car. It behaves the way I think it behaves. I think I just need to figure out something in the setup to make it maybe a bit more responsive. But obviously you guys try out the setup and let me know how I can improve it if you found a way. But yeah, that was the lap. What else did I think? In terms of top speed, again, like it basically fits in exactly where it fitted before. Like it's second in terms of like top speed, but only by a very small amount compared to the AMG coming behind it. And what else was closest? The Radical, was it the Radical? Yeah, I think it was the Radical. Yeah. But yeah, man, really impressed. Love the way this car looks. Definitely looking forward to more skins being applied to these cars. Don't get me wrong, love the way it looks, but at the same time, it's good to get a little bit of variety on the track. But yeah, man, very good. I think it definitely deals with the curbs quite well. Could be just my setup, but
That's 20 minutes to go.
But yeah, that definitely helped. And don't mind crew drift, boy. Jesus, that guy was so anal, man, about bloody cut tracks on this damn track. The amount of times he was saying, "Oh, I think he went outside the limits," but I was like, pretty sure I did. Maybe here on this last one though. I ain't gonna lie, this last turn here was probably taking a little bit of libby, but still kept 2 wheels on the curb. But anyway, next up, let's see if you can guess what the next car is.
Keep it between the white lines. Sector 1 time's okay. Watch those track limits. 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left. Your front brakes are getting a bit hot. You're a 10th off the pace in sector 2. Your front tyres are cold. That lap was at 127.4 P1.
Yeah, so in 4th place comes the AMG. Which again surprised me, as this is my favourite car of the pack. I definitely enjoy driving this the most, mainly because I feel like it's the most challenging. I think it's the most satisfying when I do find a way to get it around the corners, because again, probably the biggest problem with this is it has great entry in terms of going into corners, but again, the rear, I definitely feel the loss of rear grip when I'm turning in, exiting corners. I think the rear has loads of grip. I was able to be able to give that, to give it a lot of sort of like a lot of grip in the sayings to get out of corners. Like there, I can get the power down quite early and it sticks. But it's just turning into corners, especially because it turns in so well. Sometimes you forget how fast you're going, so you need to, you spend a lot of your time trying to like keep that rear in check as you're going in, but then coming out you should be alright. But yeah, I was able to put down a 27.4, like a high 27.3 basically, which is pretty much almost the same time as the Bentley. So they're practically dead on, and I definitely feel like there was time to be improved here. But I found it very hard to get this time as opposed with the Bentley. The Bentley, I felt like the time was there, but with this one I felt like it took me a little bit longer to be able to get to that time. Maybe I need to spend a bit more time to feel comfortable with the car, but it definitely wasn't as easy. But then I like that. I do like a challenging car that's constantly keeping you on your toes in terms of like your inputs. So in that sense it works for me, but it's definitely a handful, that's for sure. And yeah, well, out of all the cars I think it looks the best as well. Especially love the fog lights. Amazing design to the car. Definitely looking forward to seeing this in race room, that's for sure. Also, if anybody could answer me, I don't know why they changed the colours from like the lights were yellow before, which I really love, but then they changed it to like this kind of like whitish, bluish type of colour, which, don't get me wrong, it still looks really nice, but I'd love the option to go back to yellow if it's still there. If anybody can let me know how to do that, that'd be great. But yeah, so you know, that's the AMG coming in at 4th place. And yeah, the next one again with a very similar time. So yeah, let's see what that one is then.
That last lap was at 128.1. Sector 3 is 2/10 off the pace. Watch those track limits. Sector 2 time is quick. Your left side tyres are cold. 10 minutes to go, that's 10 minutes left. Watch those track limits. That was 127.3 P1.
So yeah, the McLaren comes in 3rd place, which is quite surprising, as it, you know, especially as it has the smallest, well, the smallest top speed. I mean, not really by much, to be fair. I mean, the Bentley walked in at about 244, and I think this one, and then the AMG was 243, and this one came in at 242. So I mean, it's not really losing that much when it comes to top end speed, but its cornering definitely feels a lot better. It just feels comfortable to drive. That's the biggest thing that I got away from it, was just like it comes out of corners so easily. Its entry into corners, hard braking into corners, just felt nice. The sweeping corners, like the one coming up here, yeah, I do feel like the loose does want to get away a little bit, but then when I play with the throttle a little bit just to keep it in check, and then again just get hard back onto the power, and off I go again. You know, it almost like it takes care of itself. This is definitely the easiest out of the first 3 that you've been shown to drive by far. Like, I was consistently getting this time. I could probably get maybe another 10th out of me in terms of the way I drive and the setup, but you know, I felt this is probably as good as it was probably going to get for me. But yeah, it's just such a nice car to drive. You know, like I said, I never really liked it at first, but it definitely grown on me. But yeah, man, and obviously, like, its braking, that's probably another thing that definitely helps it out. Its braking is so much better than the other two. Well, when I say so much better, it's big enough that you'd notice, but I mean, it's not going to be stopping like a P2 or anything, but it's definitely a marked improvement. And then obviously the cornering. I have to admit, never was a really huge fan of the design, but it's slowly growing on me. But yeah, I wish I could use a different livery, but for some reason my setups don't work with all the different, like, World's Fastest Gamer or something like that liveries or whatever. Like, it doesn't come up in the same folder. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to figure out a way to transfer them over, because these other liveries aren't really saying much. Need to get a little bit of variety. But yeah, on this corner I think I found it hardest, but at the same time, again, just a little throttle keeps the back end in check, and then you can just shoot off again. Just so you're all aware, I do like to run very low wing with my setup, so you know, take them with a grain of salt. You may have to, you know, do your own thing to keep it in check, but yeah, man, that's the McLaren. coming in at a very similar time, only half a tenth off the other two. And the next one coming up.
Yellow flag, you've gone outside of track limits there. V2's binned it. Green flag sector 1. You're 10th off in sector 1. Track limits, come on, keep it between the white lines. Sector 2 time is quick. Left side tyres are cold.
So yeah, the Radical comes in second place. Another surprise. I didn't really feel like I was going to be getting these sort of times with this car, but it's definitely a very nice car to drive, especially around this track. It's top speed again, roughly. I think it's roughly the same as the McLaren, to be honest. I think, yeah, pretty much on the same ballpark there. Cornering again, corners really nicely. Maybe better than the McLaren, not too sure. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Braking, I think, is maybe a little bit worse than the McLaren, but you know, again, it just feels very nice as well when you're going around the corners, and I feel like I don't feel like it loses the rear that often. Maybe it's the setup or whatever, but the rear seems to stay quite firmly in place. Not a huge amount of sliding around. I think I was probably fortunate enough with this car as well to be able to put down a very consistent, good, or like a decent lap time to get this sort of time.
There's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
But it was definitely one of the two that I felt that I could get a 26 out of, like a very high 26, if I'd just been a bit more accurate. But yeah, man, like again, very surprised. But yeah, this is a very good car to drive, and especially from what I think from what I gathered as well, in terms of like its fuel consumption, is pretty decent. I think the tank's a bit smaller anyway, so that may play a part. But yeah, this thing is pretty good. It's pretty good. It looks weird as fuck, but hey, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, who am I to judge? And especially when it gets the job done as well. So yeah, and it's again, definitely found it easier, not as easy to drive as the McLaren, but definitely easier than the Mercedes and the Bentley, especially to get a setup going. It was almost quite simple, really. I found the setup quite early, and I was just, you know, just trying to put down a consistent lap, or like a good lap time, a good lap down. And when I did, you know, this one turned up like a 27 dead. I was like, okay, fair enough. So yeah, very surprised. This was definitely way at the bottom after trying it at Monza, but I think the more time I'm spending with it, the more comfortable I'm feeling. So yeah, very impressed. And then obviously, I guess it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the #1 car was the Corvette. So yeah, let's see that lap coming up now.
Sector 1 is clear. That lap was at 1:27.5. Sector 3 time is fast. has gone off. Sector 1 is clear. Sector 1 time is good. Watch those track limits. We'll be out of fuel in about 2 minutes. Sector 2 time is good. Yellow flag in Sector 1. That lap was at 127.0. Sector 3 times over.
There you have it, people. The monster has spoken. Corvette was, yeah, again, really nice car to drive, man. I mean, wow, it's a beast on the straights. You saw the top speed was a 246. I mean, yeah, so it just, and at the same time you'd expect like a car that has such great straight line speed to be a bit, you know, obviously dodgy, but it just behaves itself everywhere else as well. Like braking, it's decent, probably towards the lower end in terms of pack, but you know, still decent, does a good job. Corners quite well as well. I feel like I can use the throttle to help get it around corners. Like get a bit early on the throttle, helps it turn a bit more, but you know, again, really nice. It behaves a little like the what's it called, the McLaren, in terms of like, yeah, the rear end does lose. You will lose the rear end a bit when you're going around these corners, especially with one wing. But then again, a little bit on the throttle keeps it in check. But you know, this could pay. It could pay. Putting down a quick lap is one thing, but then being consistent, or like having to do that consistent around the track for a long period of time may pay. You may have to pay in terms of like tyre wear for the car. But yeah, man, I put down a 27 dead, and I'm definitely sure that I should have put down a 26 because I made a few mistakes there, missed one or two apexes, especially in turn 2, I think. But you know, it's how it goes sometimes. You can't be perfect all the time. But yeah, this car, yeah, really nice to drive. And also another thing that will probably pay off as well, well, not pay off, that could cost you, is that this car does have the highest fuel consumption. So like you saw in Monza, I can't remember exactly what it was for this track, but I mean, it's going to be roughly in the same ballpark in terms of like percentages of the others. So whatever sort of laps you'll get with the others, you're not going to get that same amount of laps with this car. Probably be 1 lap less, potentially, you know, maybe more. Especially I think the Bentley on the Monza Bentley was like, you could get 2 laps more out of the Bentley on Monza. With this one, you're basically, yeah, it was like 1, maybe 2. So you know, definitely take that into consideration. Maybe it's more of a sprint car, or you know, maybe just the way you're going to drive it if you're going to do an endurance one. But yeah, man, you know, really like the car. Sounds amazing, looks really nice too. Yeah, there you go. Should have got a 26, but you know, didn't in the end, but hey ho. So yeah, man, thanks again for watching, people. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Not too sure what track I'll do next. I'll have a look and see what's out there on rFactor 2. But yeah, man, hope you guys enjoy the setups. Catch you later.